Hello, sijia. Let's have a look at your script here. Citizen journalism is a positive development. Do you agree? So let's start with this paragraph. It is don't say it, write down the whole thing. Citizen journalism is a positive development or negative development because the published content by citizen journalists, right, should be journalists, is less reliable and may cause the spread of falsehood. Excellent. Yeah. Citizen journalists are mostly mostly you can rewrite it. They're constituted by or they comprise people or the masses who want to inform others about recent happenings. Good. You should compare, Sijia. You should compare citizen journalism and traditional journalists. How are they different? Why is it that citizen journalists are more likely to spread falsehood? The reason is that traditional journalists are held by a higher standard, a higher journalistic standard, and they are held to greater level of accountability when they publish news. So maybe I'm just gonna note down some, okay, held to higher journalistic standards and greater levels of accountability. Accountability means, if anything goes wrong, they have to be responsible. Whereas a citizen journalist, nothing will happen to him. He's not going to lose his job because he publishes some sort of fake news. Yeah. Okay, as compared to ordinary citizens. So that will be your reason. And here you talk about a hoax. Excellent. Like this kind of people, okay, don't say this kind of people. It's quite you can use a better phrase. You can say people with ill intention. People with ill intention. The blurred boundaries between professional journalists and citizen journalists can cause people to trust falsehood and even spread them. Where did these blurred boundaries come from? Maybe you need to explain a little bit more. Yeah, you can say as citizen journalism expands its reach and influence in the mass media, the boundary between traditional news and news published by citizen journalists have become blurred. Yeah, and people are more inclined to trust falsehood. Yeah, if they rely more on citizen journalism, okay, well, my point is this. When people become reliant on citizen journalism, they are more susceptible to trusting falsehood that spread on the internet. Yeah, but that's a separate point. You could move this to the top, like to the explanation, right? You shouldn't put it here after the example. Okay, the next part is here. Okay, it is a positive development because the speed is faster and they can get news almost instantaneously. Fantastic. Yeah. In the past, citizen journalism was okay, this is not when citizen journalism was not popular. Just say in the past, before the inception of citizen journalism. Okay. Before the inception of maybe smartphone technology. How about that? News was mainly reported by professional journalists. Not mainly, only reported by professional journalists, right? The 24-hour news cycle the 24-hour news cycle journalists follow makes the public can only receive means the public can only receive news two specific times in a day. Not always two specific times in a day. Maybe it's enough to just say the news cycle that journalists follow, just say news cycle that journalists follow, means that readers only receive news at certain times of the day. Yeah. Whereas with citizen journalism, information can be disseminated at lightning speed or at breakneck speed. Disseminated at breakneck speeds. So we talk about all these things covering the global pandemic. Okay, so this is good. Now, if you remember The video by Tim Pool. I believe this is Tim Pool. Remember this guy here? He said citizen journalism is great because anyone at the event can report immediately, instantaneously, especially if they stream it live. So try to use that angle of live reporting. With citizen journalism, live reporting has become increasingly possible. People who are at the scene where journalists are not around can immediately whip out their phone and record what's happening. So some examples of live reporting that we can talk about. The protests in Hong Kong was live reported. A lot of people, a lot of young people, they just whip out their phone and started recording. What else? I think any sort of protest, there's a lot of live reporting going around by citizens. Yeah, so you can think about it. You can do some research. Now, the part about spreading information quickly, because such information can be critical to the safety of the citizens, of other citizens, that is possible. Now, technically, traditional journalism, sometimes they can do that. If it's really, really that critical, right? You can just broadcast things on the radio. It's possible. Because radio, the news cycle applies more to newspapers, the physical newspapers, and not so much. This 24-hour news cycle, not so much on radio and TV, where information is disseminated can be disseminated quickly. But if you want to talk about this spreading of information quickly, I would suggest anyway, this global pandemic one, right? I wouldn't use this example. Why? Because I still get news from Straits Times almost instantly. Straits Times has their online version. Whenever there's an outbreak, you get the news within an hour or so. Maybe it can spread information very quickly in areas where news is controlled, like in Myanmar, where whenever there's a police raid, a military raid of citizens, the people, the neighbors in the surrounding area will inform very quickly, right? They will inform, they'll take videos and inform others about police or military raid. Yeah, so you can talk about Myanmar alert raid. Maybe you can search something like that you could find. Yeah, maybe social media, perhaps. Yep. So yeah, military raid and all these things. So you just have a look. So people are informing each other of military raid in Myanmar using social media, and it is time critical. Just for information, when there's a raid, people can start preparing. Maybe they'll just go to other people's house or just vacate their house in order not to be caught. And there you go. That's the feedback for you. Generally, it is good if you can do an OVR. It'll be good as well. So try to use more vocabulary. Yeah, if you can use a wider range of vocabulary. I've sent to you guys an essay. Go an essay. Go have a look. A sample essay, not on this question, but on the previous question right here. Yeah, the regulation of new media. Go have a look. I think the vocabulary in there is pretty good. All right, if you have any question, feel free to contact me. Good luck for your exam.